We're going to hear from MountainSheep. This is the third to last animal that we've heard from. And this is all about being sure-footed, vulnerable, and vulnerability and guidance. So I have this cool video, and it's actually not too much about being sure-footed, but these are magnificent creatures. And when I read this morning, it really struck me because there have been areas in the last week where, not that I ever thought I was strong in them, but I realized how much guidance I would appreciate, and that, of course, I'm not an island unto myself, and knowing when to reach out. And sometimes it's just reaching out to the universe, not necessarily to someone specific, but there are areas in life where we're amazing and we shine and we're comfortable giving guidance. And then there are areas like looking at these mountain sheep where we're just in awe, and we would be very uncomfortable there, and that might be the place we can learn from them. So it's time to hear this medicine, and then we will, let's go to here. Here's our beautiful mountain sheep, and then we'll dive in and unpack a little bit what's happening with the message. As mountain sheep dances up the sheer side of a vertical rock face, we are awestruck. Nimble and graceful, he exists in a vertical plane. She is completely at home where we would feel so precarious. If you're still for a minute, you will see a multitude of them, all ages and sizes, moving, playing, and grazing. Kids who have watched their parents climb since birth have no fear on the rocks. There is an innocence about their movements. Mountain sheep demonstrates that we are all both vulnerable and sure-footed in life. Where others see us as brave or even crazy risk takers, we feel normal and comfortable. When we feel the need for growth, another could open doors to new ways of existing. There are areas of life where we dance like no other. Sometimes we move seamlessly, and there are times where we lead beautifully, and this is all to be celebrated. There is an aspect, relationship, or spoke of our life that needs Ram medicine now. An area that feels tender, insecure, or uncertain. With Ram, we can be vulnerable and face things head on. She will inspire you to make that vertical leap, to change your mind or look at things sideways. If you are uneasy or unwilling to ask for direction or help, or inspect an uncomfortable area of life, now is the time to address this tendency. Look to others who are masters of the terrain. Ask for assistance and be open to the synchronicity when a person, method, or solution is presented in your life. Others may be looking to you for guidance, so be generous with your intrinsic gifts. Your medicine can be applied for the greater healing of all. By demystifying and translating away a style, program for others to absorb information, you are adding to the greater stream of consciousness. When this vast river flows vertically, we can access instantaneously all that we desire. Here's our beautiful Ram. Ascend easily with Ram in your awake time. Notice all the ways you can assist and share your magic in this day. Be open to asking for help, and bound playfully and curiously. Have a ball, kid. You have no constraints. In dream time, cuddle up in Ram's cozy wool, protected by her natural defenses. You can evolve. This unconscious state is your healing arena. You are safe to explore. And here's Ram's mantra. I can change direction and perspective easily. I'm grounded and sure-footed. I have amazing gifts to share, and my strengths I will. I am grateful for the contribution of others. I am protected, secure, and safe. With this solid footing, I can explore and be wildly creative. My heart is open and beautifully vulnerable, so I may learn, grow, and love. Oh, and now we're on to elephant. How about that one? That's a much better appropriate scene. So yeah, how do we be appropriately vulnerable? When do we know when to ask for guidance? I think that's what was coming up for me. I was raised on a ranch, and I remember first figuring out that we didn't do everything ourselves. I thought when I was really little that we did everything. We fixed everything, we made everything, we built everything. I didn't realize till later that there were professions, or even that my mom and dad were not all that my parents were called. So Ram first struck me in that way, that first realization, like, oh, there are people that specialize in things. There are I always looked up to my parents, but my dad, I thought, knew everything. And I remember those first times, maybe he didn't know everything, but we could figure it out together. So it's interesting how I think there are still some times in life where I truly believe I need to figure this all out myself. And a lot of times that's self-sustaining. And then there are times where I realize, no, that's my ego thinking I need to know everything and not admitting I need help here. And I think the antithesis of that is true, something to be wary of as well. And Ram medicine is kind of helping me look at that, where we may be too vulnerable or ask for help too easily. So in those circumstances that what's been coming up lately, it's a really easy example would be like my kids asking me for help, and it would take me just as long to Google or figure out the answer as it would them. So is that really serving them? That might be asking for too much guidance, too much hand-holding. But there is this lovely soft spot where it's not ego, and we're admitting that we need help. And I know in this past week, looking to Ram and MountainSheep as okay, I do need some guidance here. I'm very sure-footed in some areas and very comfortable, helping and illuminating. And those might be areas that other people think are highly risky or kind of living on the edge. And then there are some areas where I realize I'm kind of at a loss right now, and I've gotten as far as I can. I would enjoy someone else's perspective. So who would be the MountainSheep in my life that, or maybe they're not in my life yet, but asking for that help. And so I think for me, it's definitely the first step is admitting, hey, this is something that's a little bit beyond me. And whether it's research, whether it's reaching out to someone, whether it's, I think a big part of it is noticing when is, okay, I've asked for help, and then the synchronicity comes along, whether it's a person or an opportunity or something to learn from. And the trick is with Ram, we can notice, okay, this is what I asked for. Let's open that door. Let's walk through it. And so do be careful what you ask for. I've had quite a few conversations this week about people that are clearly asking for things, and then when it happens, it's almost overwhelming, or there's that bit of fear. And I think that's kind of an important point, I think, for us to look at. And I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do that. So there's this point where we're the metaphor of looking at Ram on this basically vertical, rock face. And they're so comfortable there. And that's because they've grown up there. They were basically born there. That's how they live. So they're going to be uncomfortable where we would be extremely uncomfortable. And as metaphor, that looking at your own life, I know for me, that can be amazing. And it can also be things that we're used to that aren't healthy. So just because something feels not good doesn't mean it isn't comfortable. So this is where programming comes in, bad habits come in, and we tend to stay in these either relationships or ways of eating or ways of living or behaving or treating others or letting ourselves be treated. And it doesn't make us feel good. Yet we were either programmed that way or we've gotten into this routine where it essentially is comfortable. So I think first is determining, is this comfort a suffering? Is this discomfort a suffering? And then deciding, okay, I want to move towards that edge and address this with the help of, RAM medicine or with your own internal ways of, figuring this out. So this will be an interesting exercise, but I am going to show you one of the ways that I kind of work with having the courage to address and move towards that edge and find out that careful balance right on the edge. And I remind myself that that is where I grow. That is always where we evolve, or always where we grow, is right on that level of comfort, discomfort, and knowing, okay, let's say there's not healthy. There's like the unhealthy midlife crisis, right? Where you feel dull and you feel programmed and you're more acting out. And so you go 180 degrees. And, we see lives ruined all the time, maybe by that example, where it's gently coming to that edge. And I'm going to show you a fractal zoom. So the amazing thing about fractal zooms, and this design you're looking at is an equation by Benoit Mandelbrot, and when you computerize it and when you assign colors to the different numbers, and with computer it's pretty amazing because you can zoom infinitely and assign all these patterns and colors. But this is the Mandelbrot set. This is a specific formula, and he studied coastlines. He studied systems in both physical and in nature, and really kind of defined the fractal, and then came up with this beautiful equation where if your number is too big, you're way outside of the design. It doesn't work. If your number is too small, you just fall in the black. But if your number is just right, and there are these series of numbers that are just right, and you can figure all those out, then you are in this beautiful pattern. You are in this edge of life, this slice right on the edge where there's so much vibrancy, so much color, so much learning. And so that could be learning a new language. It's not comfortable. It's like hard and not fun, but you keep progressing, you keep learning. That can be high intensity interval training where you're stressing your body in a good way. You're breaking it down so that you can grow stronger and quicker, and then your human growth hormone kicks in, and you're repairing your telomeres, and you literally are becoming younger and stronger. This can happen in relationships. You can decide, I don't want to continue this way. Hey, let's figure out a new way of communication. Whatever that is, sometimes when you need that extra push, I think that's when we can look to RAM. That's when we can, that's when I watch my fractal zooms and say, okay, this is worth it. Like moving to this edge is absolutely worth the growth. It's worth the discomfort. And I am tired of either this falling asleep, kind of dying while you're alive, or becoming vibrant again. And so I think first it's important to get clear on that. Where is that good edge? Where is the learning? Who can I learn from? And then also, where can I share? Where can I be of service? And so there's my mesmerizing. I got to turn it off over here because it's mesmerizing me and I can't concentrate. Oh, I love those. So yeah, each spoke of life can be infused with the spirit. And I really realized that, and in general, for me, it was a very internal week, and realizing, okay, I need to reach out, even metaphorically, to the universe, and then be ready when those answers and when that help comes in. That was that was pretty cool. So being able to guide, being vulnerable where we need it, and that guidance where we are sure-footed, that can be our contribution. So together, this is how we can really apply this spirit and learn from it. So this week, let's move towards our edge. What things are making us uncomfortable? What can we address? What can we heal? And sometimes it seems like there's not time for it, and then another 6 months goes by, right? So we're moving into spring. It's 2 weeks from the equinox. It's about when we were going into quarantine last year. It's interesting to review and look back, because there is some sureness and there's a lot of unsureness right now. So how can we move through this time with grace and ease and non-judgment? And sometimes that's from reflection. So about a year ago, COVID was really coming onto the scene. I had my first VJing show at a friend's CD release party. I think that was basically this coming week. That was Friday the 13th of March. And then my show, my offering, Big Debut, was the following week. I remember canceling that, and that is essentially the equinox. So we are a year in, people, and I've witnessed, I felt it in myself. There's a lot of breaking down. There's a lot of emotion. Some people are cracking. Some people are acting out. There's anger. There's disillusion. And there's creation and there's building. So to be aware of that and honor where we're at and help and ask for help. So please reach out when you need that and look for guidance, and then be ready to offer that as well. So in closing, I want to talk about where we go from here. Literally, here for the Animal Alliance, we are looking at we have 2 more animals to hear from. So I've been reading now for creating and then reading for almost a year. We've had Sunday sermons and then Wednesdays at First before. And we're almost done hearing from the animals. So 2 more. And I think we'll celebrate on the equinox. That is literally on a Sunday. So what do we do? What would you like? I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to know, would you like the Sunday sermons to continue? Maybe we read more in Oracle style, random cards every day. Would you like that every morning? Just to be able to turn on whenever you get up and hear a message while you get ready. Let me know what you think it would look like. And check out heartfeltoracle.com. heartfeltoracle.com. This is my baby. This is what I've been up to. This is what I've been reading from. And in here, there's the 54 animals and virus, and with the messages and the medicines for your own internal, eternal journey. So let me know what you think, and thank you for being with me. And take Ram into this amazing Sunday fun day. It's gorgeous here, and I hope you get out. Get out and enjoy it. And you're sure-footed and on the edge.